Welcome to another deep dive from the Justice Pro Network, where we equip advocacy attorneys like you with the insights you need to navigate the complex world of immigration law. Today, we're diving headfirst into a topic that could have a huge impact on immigrant communities, particularly those who are undocumented.
Sounds pretty serious.
It is, especially given the sensitive nature of the information involved. Taxpayer data.
Okay, I'm all ears. Taxpayer data and immigrant communities. What's the connection?
Well, you see, there are murmurs of increased collaboration between the IRS, that's the Internal Revenue Service, and DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, specifically ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Our deep dive today is based on a recent article from the Justice Pro Network that delves into this very topic, and the potential ramifications are quite significant.
The IRS and IC working together. That sounds like it could be a cause for concern, especially for undocumented immigrants.
Exactly. Many undocumented immigrants file their taxes using an ITIN, an individual taxpayer identification number. Now, if ICE were to gain access to this data, it could potentially be used for immigration enforcement purposes.
That's a worrying thought. But before we delve into the potential consequences, can you shed some light on why undocumented immigrants file taxes in the first place? It seems counterintuitive considering their legal status.
That's a great question. You see, filing taxes, even without legal status, is a way for many immigrants to demonstrate their commitment to being responsible members of society. They want to contribute, and they do. Collectively, they pay billions of dollars into federal programs like Social Security.
So in a sense, it's a gesture of good faith, a step towards belonging.
Precisely. And this is why the potential for this data to be used against them is so troubling. Now, the Justice Pro Network article points out something really interesting. The IRS has, historically, been quite hesitant to share taxpayer data, citing privacy laws.
That makes sense. Taxpayer information is highly confidential.
Right. But now it seems there are ongoing discussions to establish a data sharing agreement between the IRS and DHS. This would create a pathway for IC to access information that was previously off limits.
This shift in approach is concerning. What kind of implications are we looking at here?
Well, one immediate concern is that this access to taxpayer data could significantly bolster ICE's enforcement strategies. It could make it easier for them to identify and potentially target undocumented immigrants, leading to an uptick in deportations.
I see where this is going. It seems we're talking about a departure from the traditional understanding of the IRS's role. It's meant to be focused on tax administration, not immigration enforcement.
And it's interesting that you bring up the historical context because the Justice Pro Network article actually draws parallels to the Trump administration.
Oh, how so?
Well, remember the push during the Trump era to ramp up interagency cooperation on immigration issues. There was a lot of controversy surrounding it back then, and a lot of questions raised about the potential infringement on civil liberties.
Yeah, I remember that. It sparked a lot of debate.
Right, and this current situation seems to be echoing those concerns. There's a palpable sense of fear within immigrant communities that the act of filing taxes, something they see as a positive step, could now be used against them. And this fear could have a chilling effect, discouraging people from participating in the tax system at all.
Which would hurt not only individuals, but could also have negative economic repercussions on a larger scale.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about the legal side of things. As advocacy attorneys, we know that the IRS operates under strict confidentiality laws.
Right. But I'm guessing there are exceptions.
Exactly. There are exceptions, particularly when law enforcement agencies like ICE need access to information for specific investigations, but they usually require court authorization.
So where does this leave us with the potential for litigation?
Well, given these confidentiality laws and the sensitive nature of taxpayer data, it's highly likely that advocacy groups will challenge any broad data sharing agreement between the IRS and IC. They'll argue that such an agreement violates privacy regulations.
This could end up being a landmark case that sets a precedent for future data sharing practices. So what's the key takeaway for our listeners? The advocacy attorney is working tirelessly to protect the rights of immigrant communities.
Well, as the Justice Pro Network emphasizes time and again, staying ahead of these developments is absolutely crucial for you all. You need to understand the intricacies of these potential agreements, anticipate the legal challenges that might arise, and, most importantly, be prepared to guide your clients, particularly those who are undocumented, through these murky waters. The article suggests that late 2023 might see significant movement on this issue, so vigilance is key. What advice would you give attorneys listening in?
I'd say arm yourselves with knowledge. Keep abreast of any proposed data sharing agreements. Understand the legal arguments both for and against them, and use this knowledge to advise your clients about the potential risks involved in filing taxes using an ITN in this evolving landscape. The Justice Pro Network will, of course, continue to be a valuable resource, providing updates and analysis on this critical issue.
Couldn't agree more. The Justice Pro Network is here to support you every step of the way. This potential collaboration between the IRS and DHS, as we've discussed today, has the potential to reshape the landscape for immigrant communities. Your role as advocacy attorneys in safeguarding their rights is more important than ever. Your work on the front lines is essential in navigating these complex legal challenges and ensuring that the voices of these communities are heard. We urge you to stay engaged, informed, and committed to protecting the rights of those who rely on your expertise. Thank you for joining us for the Step Dive, brought to you by the Justice Pro Network.
And thank you for having me.
Until next time.
Take care.